Hi guys, Zack Polanski, the new leader of the Green Party, did a wonderful job of putting Arlene Foster, the former First Minister of Northern Ireland and former leader of the DUP, back into our box on the issues of freedom of expression, the right to protest, and of course terrorism. Now, Arlene tried to inject her Northern Ireland credentials into this discussion, but didn't get a lot of traction. Have a listen.
I had friends arrested just last week for holding cardboard signs saying Palestine action.
Yeah, because they are banned under UK law, and that went through Parliament.
But this is the exact problem, that the government are making...
People can support Palestine without supporting Palestine Action, which is a banned group.
The problem is...
Okay, she's raising banned groups now. She's saying you can support Palestine, but you cannot support Palestine Action because Palestine Action is a prescribed organisation, which is a little bit ironic because the DUP have supported... not officially, but have provided support to, for example, organisations like the UDA. Now, the UDA is a prescribed organisation in Northern Ireland. It's a Northern Ireland organisation that's prescribed by the British government. It's banned. It's a terrorist organisation. And members of the DUP attended a funeral of a UDA terrorist. So... would you describe that as supporting a terrorist organisation? Now, the DUP are very clever and sly not to show overt support for terrorist organisation in Northern Ireland, but they certainly have attended meetings where organisations representing loyalist terrorists have been present. They haven't condemned these meetings. They haven't condemned the organisations representing loyalist terrorists. And this begs the question, why are there still loyalist terrorists in Northern Ireland if they're a prescribed organisation? Why haven't these people been arrested? Why haven't supporters of the UDA or the UVF been thrown in jail in the same way as people who have showed support for Palestine Action have been arrested for holding up pieces of paper? Nothing from the DUP in regards to the UDA or the UVF.
That the government are embarrassed, and I think this comes to the Nick Clegg interview, that their connection with this US administration, their absolute timidity in calling out Donald Trump when he talks about turning Gaza into luxury condos, we know is the exact reason why they're prescribed Palestine Action. And I think it's important to recognise when the government... now I feel like the government are putting police into
they have intelligence
situations.
on the terrorism from Palestine Action, which is why they were banned by Parliament.
Do you believe for a second if they had intelligence, that intelligence would not have been leaked?
Why would it be leaked? It's intelligence for a reason.
Because the people are looking at the government and going, it seems ludicrous that when there is violence against women and girls, when we have domestic abuse, sexual violence, for people being arrested... So you don't accept that Palestine Action were involved in acts of terror?
Why does the government not issue a statement regarding the intelligence around Palestine Action? They haven't done it. Like, they don't actually have to name names. They don't actually have to compromise investigations. They can just say, this is the information we have in regards to threats to national security. But they haven't presented anything, which is very suspect.
Terrorism at military bases, that's not acts of terrorism.
I don't think throwing paint is an act of terrorism.
Oh, right, and damaging property that is needed for the...
The UDA killed people. The UVF murdered people. They bombed premises with people inside. And she's talking about how paint on a military aircraft is an act of terrorism. Of course, she will condemn the UDA and the UVF to the cameras, but her party met with these individuals, met with people, attended their funerals.
Safety and security of our nation is not terrorism.
I think when the flights are going to commit an ongoing genocide, then I think we have to have a proportionate conversation about why people are standing in solidarity with Palestine.
Yes, and people can stand very clearly in support of Palestine, but they cannot stand in support of terrorism. And that, believe you me, as someone from Northern Ireland, is something that the government needs to take very seriously.
So, does Arlene Foster support the idea of putting people who support terrorist organisations in jail? Because it might be a bit close to the bone if she does. It might include people maybe within her own party. Maybe even herself, I don't know. But if she's talking about putting people in jail because they support terrorist organisations, okay, let's put your money where your mouth is.
Glad to see them taking it seriously, because terrorism is the rot in the United Kingdom.
But this is to lead into authoritarianism, which is to say that ultimately it's an issue of national security. We can do what we want. We won't give you the information. We're not going to leak it. We're not going to let journalists know what it is. We're just going to arrest you in the streets, in your hundreds, in your thousands, and keep silencing that dissent. And it's not going to work. And I think what it also does is put further pressure on the police, because they're constantly in these situations. We've almost joked about the Home Secretary twice now, talking about operational independence. The reason why we're hearing that over and over again is because the Met Commissioner and the Met Police are being put in impossible situations where they are following the orders or following the instructions of the law, but being put in things that are disproportionate and incoherent.
Nick,
exactly. And you have a situation where the right wing will attack the police, attack the government over arresting people when it comes to incitement, but when people are holding up pieces of paper in support of an organization that has been prescribed, those people are being thrown in jail. Those people are being arrested. Those people are being lifted off the street. In some cases, they're disabled people being lifted by a number of police officers. Now, it's not the police officers' fault. They have to do their job. But they're being told, you have to go and arrest these people because they're showing support for a prescribed organization. But once again, the irony, the hypocrisy, I should say, when it comes to Northern Ireland, you can march in the street with banners in support of the UDA or the UVF, and the police will not even bat an eyelid. Let me know in the comment section, guys, what you think, and I'll see you in the next video.